the air. And I got with me, he's in the Hall of Fame nationally. He's got another win, kids, and boy, it's hot. They're 2-0. Joining us live and on the air is the head coach of the Boyd Buchanan Buccaneers, head coach Gary Rankin. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing good, Stork. Appreciate it, man. Everything's going good.
Well, it looks like did pretty good. Came away with a big win as you beat Brainerd 43-0, and right now you're sitting at 2-0. Talk a little bit about the game as the Bucks got out and got the program out and let them run for 48 minutes.
Well, we certainly we got better from the first to the second week, and while we really wasn't pleased during our first game, we were just a little sloppy in areas. But we cleaned up some things, and kids responded. We had a pretty hard physical week, and it showed on Friday night. I thought we played pretty good, and we've had a good week. We've had a good week of practice this week, so I expect a little bit more improvement this Friday night against a good CAK team.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about. Let's start it off with the offensive side of the ball. Talk a little bit about the kids that got out there and did pretty good, and where you felt like your success was.
Well, we ran the ball well early, had a good drive early, knocked it in, and I think we got a turnover and knocked another one in. But we had a lot of kids do a lot of good things with the ball. We had a couple of bad mistakes that we tried to get cleaned up this week. But overall, we played good, and we played pretty good defense. We gave up 7 points in 2 games. So defensively, we flew around pretty good the other night, and hopefully that will continue.
Able to work a lot of players in when you get up like that, Coach, and you're able to get in some of the 2s and 3s. Talk a little bit about that.
And that's one of my main goals, Stork. My main goal is just to win the game. And then my second objective is to play as many people as we can. We're certainly not one of those teams that try to score 60, 70 points. And we're going to play. As soon as I think the game's in hand, we're going to play as many kids as we can and get as much experience as we can. And that's sort of been my philosophy for a lot of years. I think it also contributes to good team morale and practice the next week. So part of our deal is always play as many kids as we can on Friday night.
You've always got some positions where you've got some kids still competing. Maybe you're running you're running 2 that possibly are 1s and alternating them from time to time. But are you pretty settled in on your starting lineup on both sides of the ball?
Well, that's funny you asked that question because we had a starter lose his position this week in practice, but we didn't think he was giving us a good enough effort to warrant being a starter. So we actually had a replacement today, a kid on the second team. Past the kid that started the last 2 games. So, we compete in practice, and we're watching you all the time. And, I think if you've got a good program and you've got a little bit of depth, there's competition on your team all year long. So I tell our kids constantly, I wouldn't get comfortable if I were you. We got other kids that are wanting to play, and they're working hard, and we're going to play whoever works the hardest during the week.
Wow. And it's hard to maintain that because I guess you've been around and you've seen other teams where maybe they get laxed and they get those set starters in
Exactly.
August and they keep those same starters and they let those kids play, whereas you're not comfortable with that.
Exactly. I'm not comfortable with that at all, and I have to get on our coaches sometime. We stick somebody somewhere, and they just keep playing, and, we got to evaluate them every game. They got to be evaluated during the week in practice, and, I'm always looking to better ourselves with a better player if we can. So we have competition at our school, and those kids know that just because you started the first 2 games don't mean you're going to start the third one.
Well, and sometimes, having a guy that's got a lot of enthusiasm and effort versus his skill set is sometimes better to have out there in certain situations, Coach. It's not always about skills. It's about what the other kids contributed.
It's surely not always about skill. It's about attitude and the way you work, your work habits, and what you bring to the table every day. So, I'm glad we got ourselves to a point where we do have some competition, at places. And I think any good program that has pretty good numbers has competition in places. So it's certainly something and that's just the way we do it at Boyd.
You wanted to clean up a few penalties. Did you get that taken care of, Coach? Did you?
We did. We had a few running sessions this week for, pre-penalties and post-penalties on the snap. We're not going to deal with. And if you're one of those guys, you're going to get punished for it. You're going to have some penalties when the ball snaps and the ball's in play. There's going to be some penalties, But to have one before the ball snapped and to have one after the ball has been blown dead is just something we're not going to do. And we've done a pretty good job with that through the years. But for some reason, a couple of our kids thought they'd be clowns this week, so we had some clown running this week.
Well, and it's hard on the offense if you jump and it's a fall, and the false start, and you got to learn that in youth football, coach. You learn that when you're real
Yeah.
young how to line up.
I mean, if you practice right, you shouldn't have that happen to you. We practice, and our snap counts stay the same for the most part. So most of the time, it's just a lack of concentration and focus, and it's something that we don't think should happen very much.
Well, Coach, like you said, you catch CAC. I was down there last year when you took on CAC, Christian Academy of Knoxville, and you whipped it on them pretty good. They're going to be looking for you, Coach, as you get on the road and you're going up to their place. They're 1-1. Talk a little bit about Christian Academy of
And
Knoxville.
they are. And, when I was at Alcoa, we played them regularly for many years, and always different playing at their place. They always play tougher. I don't put a lot of stock in playing on the road or playing at home, but it seems like CAK is one of those places where their kids always play a little better at home. So we'll have to play well. Like I say, we've had a good week. We've got good plans. So it's a region game for us. So it's a game you have to win if you want to stay in this region race. So we're looking forward to it. It's always a good atmosphere. They're a classy bunch. They treat you right up there. So we're looking forward to it.
Always a big crowd. And, of course, I know the Buccaneers will load up, but I guess they always have a big home crowd.
They do, and they're supported well, and it's a great school, and I think we'll have a great showing from our fans. So it should be a good night for us.
Injury-wise, you okay, Coach?
We're okay. We beat up a little bit. We lost a couple of kids early in the year, but besides that, we're in pretty good shape right now.
Coach, I hope did you have a good Labor Day weekend?
We did. Had a good practice, good physical practice Monday morning early, and kids got the rest of the day off, so it was a good weekend.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you being on Inside the Headset, and good luck Friday night, and safe travels to Christian Academy of Knoxville.
Thank you, Stork. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.
See you, buddy.